So this is 4836 Rancho Viejo, and I think you can see the landscaping that's up tight to the building, and we'll go around the back too, but this has led to the issue of water in the walls, water leading to mold. This is an area that's not only shaded, but it also has this condition of water right up against the building. A lot of moss that's growing here gives you an idea. Looking down in there, we have the another area where it's soaking wet. It's wet on the building, wet on that location. There we go. This is what's leading all the water in the building. Here's another location where you can not only see this, but all this is, I don't know if you're seeing that give, but it's all, the drip screed is all rusted out from so much water, and this is all bubbled up. This is why we have so much water back into this building. It's all bubbled. This is a view of the home on the west side. Of those crows in the background. Every crow I've ever known had an opinion. Another location where things are wet. Landscaping's right up to the building. This doesn't get sun right here. You see this windowsill is pretty much rotten. And that water's come through to the inside, into the stucco. Not the stucco, but the drywall. On the front of the building, just to the left of the entry, is this one enclave-ish location that has the least amount of sun. Water in there, hedging in there. And right at that window, right behind us there, is where we're going to see the drywall off. And where that wall has had the most water, which has led to the mold. And here again you can see the mold growing on the ground here, or moss. And we're going to be looking right behind this wall right here. I don't know if the shadows, you can see it, but it is all kind of puffy from having the water on it. This windowsill has also gotten water on it from the sprinkler. It's led to its disintegration. But this whole area here is a very wet location. I'm in the building now, and walking from the left of this is that area that we were just in that is so enclosed, and that wall there is the wall that we're going to be looking at. We're going to take this this drywall off right there. We've already had one inspector here who has taken that out. If you get right down there, you'll see some of the mold on it. We're going to see what the rest of this looks like behind.
So there's some airflow coming through there too.
So what does the blue mean again?
Blue is colder.
And what is red?
Red is just that's warmer. Oh. So red is hot, blue is cold. So if it's wet, the moisture is going to be, whatever saturated the building materials is going to be colder. So you can see right there. Now some of this too is the fact that the baseboard is gone, and there's a gap right there, so I'm going to be getting the concrete reading as well.
So let's look at a non.
That's why with combination of my moisture meter, I can find that stuff. See, it's just a little line right there. It's very tricky, and when you move it, it doesn't have, just because like when I go to one place, it'll turn all blue, and then it'll kind of settle out. So see, like you can see like the blue right there.
But you saw moisture with your moisture reader all the way up to here.
Yes.
But
see, what this will really just show me the penetration points.
Right.
And in this case, it's not even the penetration point, it's the bottom where everything's settled out. So let's say you've got a roof leak. Your two wettest spots are going to be right where it comes through here, and then where it hits on the bottom. And sometimes it even dries out in the middle. So Doesn't mean that it's leaking in underneath, it just means that's where it collects because it's the bottom. The whole way.
Yeah, Doug, why don't you get in here, because you're the one who needs this. Yeah. Those flip cameras are fabulous.
See that blue spot right there?
Yeah.
It's right along there. Right along the bit, right there. Right, that's where the sprinkler head is hitting, right there.
Right.
See that whole thing?
We now have entry. Let's just see. Yeah. And the answer is, it's wet, isn't it?
It's really wet.
Yeah, it is. Oh, it's sticking to... Here we go. You saw it live. Just like the guy said, it was going to be wet all the way up to here.
And it is.
Yeah.
It's not just cold, it's moist.
Yeah. Well, right there especially, it's like wet right on that little section.
Right.
And you can see that it's wet right in there. And then down there. It's dark, you know, it's got water, there's some kind of mold, who knows.
Since it's a vacant house, we don't have to deal with people living here, so we can basically set up almost like a full containment in this bottom floor. We'll seal off the stairs to the upstairs, we'll seal off the individual rooms that we don't need to have with plastic, and we'll put a bunch of air movers and air scrubbers in here that when we tear all of this out, the dust and any contaminants that are in the wall will be filtered in the air. So while that happens, while we're doing all the demo, we'll reveal the walls, then we go and we sand and grind down the wood to physically get rid of the layer of wood that the mold could be growing on. You just can't wipe it off because it's got little talons and it grows in. So you sand it, you physically get rid of that layer. Then we treat it all with biocide to kill everything. Then we encapsulate it all with basically an antimicrobial primer, which then, if there's still anything left in the wood, now it's all sealed in with an antimicrobial paint, basically. Then we put new insulation, build it all back, tape, mud, texture, new baseboards. That's what happens on the inside. On the outside, you need to replace the sprinkler head for the drip systems, or something that's not going to be hitting the exterior. And then wherever there is damaged stucco, that needs to be just scraped off down to the hard concrete, retextured, and put back together and painted. So that's basically the procedure. Does that make sense?